All right, welcome back to the PCC podcast. I'm your host, Marissa Roy, and today we're going to be talking about different ways that you can invest in yourself that is not one-on-one health coaching. So a little bit of a different topic because I feel like, nowadays everybody on Instagram has some kind of an offer. There's a lot of online coaches out there. And if you are deep enough in the space, you are getting bombarded with people saying, you should do coaching with me. You should do coaching with me. Here's why we're better. All that, lots of advertisements. I fully admit to being one of them because I fully believe in the service that we have. However, I think that it's important to recognize that there are other ways that you can invest in yourself that isn't face masks and like spa days, right? So when we think of the term investing in ourselves, I'm going to give you guys some really tactical, tangible options of ways you can invest in yourself that might be smaller purchases that can help you engineer your environment for you to be more successful with your goals. And these are just things that our clients over time have trended towards doing that is really helpful for their goals and really just making sure that they can make these changes in their life really stick. So first and foremost, let's cover the misconception that is investing in yourself, right? So we often think that it is buying ourselves luxury bags or, buying ourselves a spa day or doing something extravagant or unnecessary is really where I think a lot of people's minds go, is that taking care of our health is this extravagant, unnecessary thing. But in reality, it is literally the foundation to how we function in our day-to-day life. And so an investment in yourself is an investment in your functioning. It is allowing you to be at your best so that everyone else in your life can benefit, whether that's your kids, your husband, your partner, your coworkers, the people that you serve in your work, whoever, right? But if you don't show up as your best, you are going to pay the price, quite literally. I know that in my work, if I'm not showing up as my best, in my best energy, taking care of myself, there are a lot of negative consequences to that on the business and how PCC is, because I have to not only live the example to show up for my team, but also to show up on social media and be a truthful image of what it is we are preaching. So that is the first thing I want to break down, which is the misconceptions around investments as a whole. Now, the second thing is just kind of overall, let's talk about investments in health and fitness. Let's talk about the fact that people, specifically women, spend tens of thousands of dollars on health and fitness across their lifetime. So I pulled some stats because I was actually really curious to know what these numbers actually look like. I knew they'd be outrageous, but I didn't know they'd be this bad. So I'm going to read these off for you. So the average personal training session costs anywhere between $29 to $166 per session in the US. So the average of that, the middle ground, is $97 per session, which I think makes a ton of sense, $100 per hour, right? If you go 3 times per week for a month, that's $300 per week, essentially $1,200 per month just for the training aspect, right? So a lot of times people will say, well, why would I do this online training thing? Seems expensive. I don't know if I can afford that. When in the past, they have invested thousands of dollars per month on boutique or one-on-one personal training, and you're not even touching nutrition or lifestyle in that session. And it's only a couple days per week versus covering your every single day. Now, another cost that people acquire when they are investing in their health is they will go to a registered dietitian or a nutritionist. So this is the other half of the puzzle. So typically, I looked it up, it's about $100 to $200 per appointment. So at a weekly or bi-weekly frequency, this could be $400 to $800 a month alone. And again, we're not touching the gym. They're going to tell you to go work out, or sometimes they'll tell you to not work out because you're doing such an extreme diet that you wouldn't be benefiting from working out, which is not great. But that is another $400 to $800. So those two things together, you could be spending upwards of $2,000 per month on a full service situation that is honestly going to be confusing to have 2 people in your ear at all times. Now, on top of that, weight loss drugs like Ozempic and phentermine and other semaglutides have gotten really, really popular. So the average cost of those without insurance is $1,000 per month. So now we're looking at a potential high of $3,000 per month on your weight loss efforts in your health. If you are going for the holistic approach, I'm tackling nutrition, training, potentially drugs or supplementation, right? And these are often like an upsell at beauty parlors or nutritionists. So we could potentially be quote unquote investing $3,000 a month into the wrong things because they're kind of just piecewise putting things together. So I want to really just draw that comparison. So when you see all these people who are doing online coaching, we really are doing a good thing. In this industry, I think online coaching is an amazing streamlined way to get everything that you need all in one. Now there are some like nutrition only coaches, but at PCC, we do everything: nutrition, training, lifestyle, mental health, functional health and hormones, like literally everything that you could ask, all for significantly less than $3,000 a month. Oh my God. So yeah, that. And then also let's talk about the cost of being on a diet across your lifetime. So I did some research because I knew this statistic would be out there, and it was, and it blew my mind. So here's the cost, right, of not investing in yourself to find a permanent solution and engineering your environment, engineering your life to look the way that you want it to look so that you can have the body you want for good. So if you're consistently like going on these diets, getting these little programs over and over and over again, think about the little things that add up, right? Your MyFitnessPal subscription is $70 a year. Weight Watchers, I don't know how much that costs, but I'm assuming you sign up for it. Optavia is like somewhere around the range of like $300 a month. Burn Boot Camp, Orange Theory, these group classes can be like $100, $150, $200 a month. And when you do all that math, the statistic is that the average adult spends $155 a month on weight loss. And so that means their lifetime cost is, and I don't know if I really buy into this number because I did my own math, but $112,200 across your lifetime. So I don't know if that was like, you know, start to finish, like you were born and then you died at 70. But I did some math that's a little bit more accurate. So there is a statistic that women spend on average 17 years of their life dieting. 17 years of their life dieting. Oh my God, that is horrible. So 17 years of your life dieting. So if you're spending $155 a month for 17 years dieting, and that is the average, meaning not including the extreme anomalies of multiple decades dieting, that is $31,620 that this woman is spending on average in the US across their lifetime on weight loss, because they have not found a permanent solution, because none of the cheap shit out there does it. So I did some more math. What if it's just one decade? You know, what if you just spend 10 years trying to find the solution? Well, that's still $18,600. 2 decades of your life, $37,200. 3 decades of your life, $55,800. So you could be spending, I mean, upwards of a college tuition on weight loss by not just investing in yourself with something that is tailored to you, something that is all encompassing, and just throwing some pennies here at the little cheap MyFitnessPal or Noom or a little subscription app. Like, that is what that adds up to. That is wild, right? So I want to encourage you. I didn't really kind of mean for this to go this way. I just have these statistics because I was working on something else with these statistics, but I wanted to bring them up because when we think about investing ourselves, I think we're thinking about it wrong, and we're just looking at what does it cost me right now, you know, the ticket, the price per month, whatever that I'm looking at, but I'm not looking at the long-term savings of if I don't have to spend another $18,600 on another decade's worth of weight loss solutions, right? So this is just an absolutely absurd number. And so I would love to hear your feedback. Send me a message or comment or something on the podcast if this just blew your mind. But let's get into specifically, you know, how can you invest in yourself in ways that isn't coaching? Let's say maybe right now, specifically, it's just not the right time, but you're seeing how this kind of really does pan out over the lifespan, and you are understanding that this can and should be a priority if you feel that having a coach and really solving this for good is the right fit for you, right? So let's say you don't want to invest in a coach. Let's not subscribe to Weight Watchers. Let's not buy the cheap thing. Instead, we're gonna invest in things that engineer our environment to make it easier for you to be successful. So number one would be a walking pad. The walking pad is just such an amazing investment. I have been my step count has skyrocketed and it feels like I'm not even trying. These can range from anywhere from about $300 to $500, I think is the average that I'm seeing on Amazon. I can absolutely send you a link if you just reach out to me on Instagram or Facebook and send you the one that I have. I think it was like 300. I would also suggest having a standing desk to go along with that. So you can basically just work at your meetings. You know, I don't really love doing the walking pad when I'm like sitting and doing computer work, but if I'm on calls, on Zoom meetings, I'm walking the whole time. It makes it so easy. And standing desks are about like anywhere from 300 to like 1,000, depending on the caliber of the desk that you have, right? The standard like rectangle standing desk, I think can be like 200-300. Again, it's just an investment in your furniture, in your well-being for your office, the place where you're going to spend literally 8 hours a day. That is going to be so beneficial. Now, the next thing that I would suggest is getting yourself a set of adjustable dumbbells or some sort of home gym equipment. Just making it easier to get workouts in wherever you are without the excuse of, oh, well, I can't make it to the gym today. Right? So we built out a home gym. I do have a video on YouTube that is a full home gym tour and guide for how we put ours together and what I think are some necessary pieces for that. But even if it's not a whole home gym, just like one set of adjustable dumbbells that twist and basically allow you to adjust the dumbbells to whatever you need. The Bowflex ones are great. They go up to 52 pounds each. For most women, that's gonna cover pretty much almost every exercise you could do. They're really easy to store. They don't take up a lot of space, and you can literally get your entire body taken care of, and you will literally never have to go to a gym if you don't want to, with just those two things and your body. Like, it is an incredible investment. I believe those go for like anywhere from like $250 to $300 or so. If you look in the right places, like Facebook Marketplace or sales on Amazon, I wouldn't buy them at retail price. But those can be amazing. And any home gym equipment is a very worthwhile investment. I dragged my feet on that for a long time, but I promise you, once you do it, it's like, oh, this makes my life so much easier, and it can allow you to be so much more consistent. Another one would be a Stanley Cup or the equivalent, any large drinking vessel that you enjoy using. You know, a Stanley Cup's $40, but you can probably get some dupes for like 10 or 20 at Target. So that's a great one. That's super easy and affordable. Another one would be kitchen equipment that makes eating healthy or eating high protein stuff or reheating very easy. So two things that came to mind are an air fryer, which are like all the rage right now. And for anybody who says, I hate leftovers, if you haven't tried heating up your leftovers in the air fryer, you could be missing out on a way to just enjoy your leftovers and not have to waste food and not have to cook things fresh over and over again. It can be a huge help. And then the Ninja Creamy. This is a way to make high protein ice cream and ice cream consistency stuff. Just super easy and for like a sweet treat type of snack. I personally don't have one of these yet, and I am just waiting for the opportunity to pounce because they just have been out of stock everywhere. So that's another one. Another investment you can make in yourself is getting some quality lab work done. So this can be a really big hassle to do through your insurance, I will say. So, you know, you can get some labs, and honestly, you might not get anywhere near the full panel. But if you are looking to just rule things out, make sure you're having a good baseline, or you think something's wrong, something's up, I think a great investment in yourself would be getting some testing done. Now, there is an extensive list that I know I like to look at when we're looking at a client who has a more complex situation that does involve hormones. It's not just like, oh, check your thyroid, your TSH level, and you know, we'll be able to know if things are good or bad. Like, I'm sorry, your doctor is going to order like one or two things, and it is not going to give us any information. So what we do with our clients is we have a third party that they like order the test through LabCorp, and then they get it back in like a week, and it's everything, and it's only $250. And so, you know, to me, the cost of like going through the insurance battle and like arguing with your doctor to get all the tests that you want is much less worthwhile time spent versus just paying $250 to get the labs done. So if you want the link to that, I don't benefit from it actually. So I'm happy to send it to you, but it's just a functional health team that we're affiliated with that allows us to get those labs done at a really affordable rate. So let me know if you want that. And then I would say the last two here. Number one, really good walking or running shoes, especially if you do invest in the walking pad and the standing desk. But, we're always going to encourage just daily movement, being outside, going on walks. And if you have shitty shoes, like, you're just going to be hurting from all of that. And that's not what we want. So good quality walking and running shoes, like spending the extra like $50 to $75 for not going to the clearance rack, not just going to some Nike outlet and getting whatever looks cool, but actually going to a running store and having them assess your gait, walking on the treadmill, having them look at what your feet need specifically, and then shoes that are tailored to that. And they're always typically like the same brands that you would buy, Ghost, Hoka, New Balance, etc. Like, you're not going to be paying that much more, and the assessment's usually free, but it's just kind of scary to go in there because you think, oh my God, it's going to be so expensive. It's the same as like just buying shoes at retail price, but you get that extra layer of support and advice for your feet specifically. So highly recommend. I need to go in and get a new pair, so I'm going to do that soon. And then lastly, an investment I think you should make in yourself is go to therapy. I honestly think that most people could really benefit from having their thoughts bounce back to them on a sounding board, which is what therapy is, having someone ask the right questions without judgment. Unfortunately, most people don't have people in their life that can objectively do that without judgment or fear of judgment. And that can affect the way that we really open up and process our emotions and our thoughts. So if you don't have that, or maybe you're not sure, maybe you think you do, but you don't know, I would suggest spending some time really reflecting on that stuff, having verbal processing just be a part of your regular routine, because a lot can be accomplished with just understanding your emotions and your thoughts and yourself better. That's a lot of what we do with our clients. It's just through a health and fitness lens, but your mental health and well-being is such an important part of being able to pour into yourself and succeed on this journey. So those are all the things that I would suggest. So, therapy can be like $150 per session or something like that, depending on where you go. But I would just definitely recommend investing in yourself, in your environment. You can notice how all these things are things that you can like be around, that surround you, that are in your home, in your environment, that make it easier for you to be consistent in your journey. And that's really like the auxiliary things that can help make you more successful and just make it easier, right? You're just facing less resistance in your journey to invest in those things. So if this was helpful for you, maybe it gave you a perspective shift on investing, maybe it gave you a perspective shift on how much goddamn money we spend on our health and fitness journey as a whole, go ahead and let me know. But thank you so much for watching, for listening. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the podcast if you like topics like these, and I will look forward to seeing you back in the next episode.